Or in my case, kind of like palm it because my hands are closed. It's still.
And then will yourself to hold on to it. So with my CP, my right side, it's all my right. But I'll get like different spasms now that I'm older and stuff. And literally, like I was so mad. I went to Trader Joe's and I got these veggies that I really wanted to try. And I had a spasm and I literally tossed it all over the kitchen. And I had to call my husband and be like, clean up on aisle 5. But I was so ticked because I wanted to eat it. And I dropped it.
Oh man. Yeah, I know. I said that for years. I could do everything most people can do. I just have to do it differently and, a lot slower generally.
Right.
So it's even more frustrating when things take so much longer to do. Brushing your teeth and it's after 14 years, it's still, I don't know if you ever get used to it. Sometimes it's routine, but
better days than others, right?
Good days and bad days.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, we'll kick you out of here now. And thank you for coming by. And
thank you for your time. It was so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you too.
Each week on Walk and Roll Live, we share honest and open stories of people living with a disability.
I think it's even worse now because, they give me a roller coaster to run around town in, and I basically am just like trying to find the biggest curb to jump off
yes.
of.
Right. You're like, I know I can return myself from hard things, so I'm going to pay.
Join us weekly for another powerful episode. Walk and Roll Live, wherever you get your podcasts. Life, limitless. Subscribe now.
Awesome. Listening to Steve has been so inspiring because when I was in 6th grade, we had to do science camp in Yosemite, right? And it was snowy. And because I was the different kid, they were like, okay, well, you can sit over here and like play checkers or something with one of like the chaperone parents while everybody else went snowshoeing. And then here's Steve, who's like, I want to ski again. I want to do this, that, and the other. So it's kind of inspiring. I mean, now being older, I don't think I should try it, but I love that people get out there and do it because I think as a child, I kind of took the direction and was like, okay, I am breakable. I shouldn't do that. Or that's something I can't do. Mm-hmm. So I love listening to somebody say, here are all the things I can do, or I'm going to push the boundary because there's got to be a way. So, I mean, that's what I love about this interview so much.
And, he kind of shows the able-bodied, or however you want to term it, that population that you don't have to treat us like a China doll all the time.
China doll or a child.
Or even if you're, if it gives you, you're a little concerned for us.
Yeah.
That's not yours to be. Well, I mean, you could be concerned, but don't stop us. Don't try to stop us.
No.
Don't say things like, he shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's what I love that one.
Right. I kind of love that too, because I mean, even talking to him, I'm getting nervous for his wife, for his children, for everybody. So it's like you adopt the personality of what you don't want done to you. So it's a good like reality check and a pause to be like, yo, he wants to push it. It's his like, his journey to ride, let him ride it. And it's a good person. It's a good like mental shift for me of like, hey, maybe your boundaries could be pushed a little too.
Yeah. I advocate for that all the time. Yeah. It's just, and everybody, and I always go back to, sayings like, reach for the stars. And if you miss, you'll get to the moon.
Yeah.
Those motivational posters that you used to see in the workplace. Yeah. They had all those kinds of sayings.
Plastic book fair.
Well, that goes for us too. We should strive for something greater. And if we fall short, we're still going to achieve something great. Don't take that away from us. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's my 2 cents.
I don't know if you've had that experience yourself where it's like people try to help you and they make it worse. Like, don't try to hold my arm. Just let me have my arm and let me go, because you're going to make me fall trying to like, I don't know. Yeah. I love that you're trying to help me. Thank you so much. but no.
Don't want to discourage, but ask. You have to ask because
exactly. Or if I say I got it, that trust me that I got it, and if I don't got it and I fall, you can laugh and then pick me up.
Right, exactly.
I'll take one poo-poo
then
point
I'll take
for
your
overestimation.
Well, you know what I like to see, and I've learned this from somebody who I can't remember now, but it's just that everything I do looks like I'm struggling.
Oh, for sure, dude.
So that's just part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But to me, I'm doing this smooth, just so you know.
Right in your head. You are the smoothest dude you've ever met.
Oh, goodness sakes. All righty. Well, what do you got coming up? Anything? No more tornadoes?
No more tornadoes, please. Lots of work. I work in the accounting field and stuff that I do the middle of the month. Yeah. Reports. My middle name is Report.
Sounds exciting and sexy.
Right? Sexy librarian. There are other professions that are also sexy.
I'm always
pretty much my week.
Always thankful for people like you because that is not in my wheelhouse. My brother was that when my brother was young. He just is good with. He's always been good with numbers.
Yeah.
And he was a fence estimator for a long time.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he started in insurance, but at some point, a buddy of his said, "Hey, you want to come work for us?" And he'd estimate jobs. So we're talking big jobs where the county or the city would put out a bid, and he'd have to do all the things in an Excel sheet and overages and calculate that and the ever changing price of lumber and metal and blah, blah, blah.
Let's not get started.
And he did really well at that. Yeah. It was like, for me, that would be a nightmare.
Torture. We might as well take off your toenails with the little tweezers. Yeah.
For him, that was playtime. He did a game called Stratomatic. Okay. And years ago when he was a kid. And if there are any older guys in the audience that know, it was, you took the stats from the previous season of all the baseball players.
Oh gosh.
You'd have a draft and you'd draft your team, and then you would play the games based, and I may be explaining this terribly, I don't know, because I don't understand it. But you would take all those statistics and calculate, in this situation, what would happen. Yeah. And then you'd play out the games that way. Well, they used to do that by sending letters to one another.
Oh, wow.
So now the internet comes along and all that. And in Excel, they did this pre-Excel sheets. So now they can put stuff in Excel, they can work them that way. They can email them back and forth, or they can do a website and do it all on the website, all that.
Yeah.
So he's been doing that for years. That's his playtime to play with numbers.
Jam.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, good for him.
We nerd out on all different things.
So,
anywho, what about you?
It's I've talked about the old military dog handlers. We get together.
Oh, yes.
They've kind of taken me under their wing. So we do a dog's night out, we call it, and just go have dinner. And
nice. Yeah,
and they tell their stories. We went and had coffee actually with a couple of them a week or so ago. Yeah, and they're. I mean, every time, it's not like some of the guys I hang out with who tell the same stories over and over, and I've heard them. Literally, I've probably heard them hundreds of times. But these guys, every time I get together with them, it's new stories. And new stories that are leave your mouth dropping open,
Right?
Yeah,
I know we on the side talked about how we love that kind of crime stuff and whatever. So I'm slightly secretly, now not secretly, jealous of that kind of hangout. Because I'm like, man, what am I missing over there?
And these are guys that were in the military and coming under fire, things like that.
Right.
And one guy it did customs for a long time. So and some of it in other countries. So he tells some stories about that. Yeah, it's awesome. So that's all I got. And next week, I think I wrote a note somewhere, so I would know. I think we're going to have a young lady named Pilar Cole on. So that'll be on next Monday. This week was another good one. Thank you for listening to Walk and Roll Live. And any other closing remarks?
Not that I can think of. Do we have anything on the calendar that people need to know about? We're hopping into spring.
There's a number of things, but they're on our events page.
They're on the website. It's too many to list.
Yeah. There's like you were saying earlier, spring is starting to open up and events are starting to come. So there's a lot of things on there. So check it out. And if you have any you want to add, let us know.
Let us know.
More live at walkandrolllive.com. All right. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.